Hi, this is Jordan from Recap Animation. All properties are owned by their respective companies. Please enjoy. Previously, we saw how Lushu was abandoned by his mother, and after 18 years, he is living with his little sister, whom he met at the orphanage. He got a system from which he got powers and got awakened. The system needs people's negative emotions to get points, so Lushu annoys everyone. He also got accepted into a special class only for awakened students. Still, with his rank being the lowest, F, Lushu comes to know his neighbor, Old Man Lee, a retired secret organization member, so he accepted his offer to get training from him. Back to the story. After Lushu returns home from school, he is delighted to see Master Lee instructing his sister, Shoyu, on various topics, including mathematics. He was teaching because, as part of Lushu's agreement with Master Lee to become his disciple, Master Lee is required to instruct Shuijin on these topics. Later, Master Lee instructs Lushu on the ways of the sword while demonstrating one of its techniques. After Lushu has mastered several advanced swordsmanship techniques, Master Lee advised him to use his power to preserve and protect other people's lives. Lushu, on the other hand, declines the responsibility of protecting people and tells him that he only cares about his sister and wants to always protect her and make sure she lives a happy life because Shoyu is the most valuable person in his eyes. Later on, one of Master Lee's students, a man named Xia Shuijin, paid a visit to him and extended an invitation to rejoin the Heavenly Network, and also invited Master Lee to explore the ruins together. However, Master Lee declined because, after deciding to retire, he did not wish to interfere in any way with the operations of Heavenly Network. In the end, Xia Shuijin tells him that the last spot in the network is still open for him, and he also tells him that they want peace in the world. Since Lushu was also present, Master Lee shared with him that Xia Shuijin is only at level B in the Heavenly Network, and that his power is equivalent to that of a commoner, which was surprising to Lushu. In addition, he assures him that he will not discuss how he instructs Lushu with anyone else. After that, he hands him 2 test tubes to take a test to determine what level the siblings have progressed to. That night, Lushu and Shoyu did a test to determine their strength level. Shoyu's strength turned out to be A level, with the test tube being darker like the universe, while Lushu's strength was unmeasurable, and the color of the tube was like a Milky Way. However, Lushu decided to conceal his power because he did not want to stir up any trouble. After that, Lushu and Shoyu make it through to the next level, with Lushu being 1 level ahead of Shoyu. Later, the 2 siblings started to test each other's strength and were amazed by their superpowers. Lushu's power is a protective layer around him, which also serves to conceal his face. Shoyu, on the other hand, can use the dead creature's soul to bring it back to life by turning it into her spirit puppet. Therefore, Lushu takes her to the pig's butchery to test her abilities and tells her to take the pig's soul, which both irritates and disgusts her. He has done that to see how powerful she is. After Shoyu captures the pig's soul, they return home. At home, Lushu experiments on the pig by hitting him, and then he pulls out the mini sword he received as a reward for his first breakthrough. But when the pig sees the sword, it becomes terrified and tries to flee, but Lushu is faster and kills the pig with just 1 strike from the sword, which infuriates Shoyu. Shortly after that, some minor tremors occur, and Lushu and Shoyu, using their instincts, find where the fight takes place. They then rush to the location of the major explosion, which turns out to be a bridge. The explosion occurred due to a fight between the Earth Network and a group that possessed a relatively high level of super strength and was dangerous. Lushu and Shoyu seemed far away as they watched the fight. After the intense battle, the group eliminates 2 Earth Network members in the explosion and then immediately flees because more of the enemy's forces are approaching. In the meantime, members of Earth Network follow them. Lushu tells Shoyu to go back home, and he also follows the network members and group while hiding. When members of Earth Network discovered the enemy group hiding in the building, battles were resumed immediately. During that time, Lushu is observing the battle. Members of Earth Network spot him and make attempts to capture him. Then, Lushu confidently launches his attacks to see how strong he was. It turns out that he could easily defeat them all, including Zai Fei and the members of the Earth Network who had attacked him because they considered him to be a member of the opposing group. After that, he engages the group's leader in combat and easily takes his life with the help of his mini sword. In addition to this, he is glad because nobody will figure out who he is, because Zai Fei and the others could not recognize Lushu due to the dark dark aura that surrounded him. Lu Shu was able to act with a greater degree of freedom. After that, Lu Shu returns to his house and takes Shouyu to where he had just fought. He then instructs Shouyu to use her power to retrieve the soul of a dead person whom he had previously killed. After she had obtained the soul, she could not immediately summon it because she did not have enough star power. Instead, she told him she would summon the spirit the next day. The next thing that happens is that Shouyu keeps insisting on eating outside, so Lu Shu gives in to her demand. While eating, he tells her that if she were to go to the orphanage instead of staying with him, she would have a better life. Shouyu tells him, while crying, that she does not want to return to the orphanage and does not care if there is not enough food or a coat because he is her family. After that, Lu Shu experiences a flashback that shows how difficult it was for him to survive after he ran away from the orphanage. The next day, Shouyu showed up, and after he witnessed her crying, he finally gave in and agreed to let her stay with him. They got through the difficult period by supporting and assisting one another. To get back to the story, Lu Shu tells her that he wants to buy a home for them to live in together, and that he will fulfill his promise to her, and also tells her they are a family and better times are ahead for them. Meanwhile, Shuojin was holding a meeting with members of the organization's Heavenly Network and Earth Network, during which they discussed Lu Shu and his incredible power. Since they could not determine his true identity or power level, they believed Lu Shu to be the most dangerous threat. In addition to this, they dispatched one of their members, Li Yukrio, to Lu City because the ruin was going to show up there very soon. After that, Lu Shu got back to his routine of selling food, since his merchandise was always sold out lately while earning him money and negative points. Lu Shu thought that he might be able to buy a house with his income. That night, Shouyu managed to surprise Lu Shu by resurrecting the spirit of the deceased man. Lu was taken aback. She can also piece together a person's past from the pieces of that person's shattered memories. She discovered that he was the leader of a band of thieves. Shouyu also informed Lu Shu of the location where the group of thieves had concealed the money that they had stolen. After that, Shouyu extended an invitation to Lu Shu to take the money so that the two of them could purchase their own home. On the other hand, Lu Shu did not wish to do so because the money was not rightfully theirs. Even so, he appreciated Shouyu's good intentions, who wanted to use the money to buy a house. Lu Shu then advised Shouyu, telling her not to use her ability publicly or demonstrate it to anyone else because doing so could risk their safety. At school, Shu Yi revealed to Lu Shu an increased number of people whose power had been awakened. However, at the same time, there is a mysterious location known as the Blessed Land. This location possesses a significant amount of spiritual power. Shu Yi continued by saying that the price would skyrocket for anything that emerged from the Blessed Land. After hearing this, Lu Shu showed signs of interest in traveling there. Following that, all the disciples gathered in the field to participate in the ceremony that was held to welcome their new principal, a man named Li Yuxio. When Lu Shu met the man, he knew right away that the man had a lot of power and was a member of the Heavenly Network. The students were taken aback by Li Yuxio's sloppy appearance and carefree demeanor. Still, he was more concerned with retrieving the money he had left at the police station than attending the inauguration ceremony. In the evening, Li Yuxio also taught a special class. During this class, he encouraged his students to put a lot of effort into their training to one day become Heavenly Network members. After that, Li Yuxio played the video footage of the battle that had taken place a while ago between the Heavenly Network and another group in which Lu Shu had participated secretly. After that, Li Yuxio cautioned the disciples to be wary of the mysterious man who possessed incredible spiritual power and had managed to flee before the Heavenly Network arrived. After that, he shared with them the incredible news that they'd be given the spirit stones necessary for cultivation monthly. After that, the instructor gave each student spirit stones, which had the potential to increase their spiritual power. However, Lu Shu planned to sell the stone rather than keep it. Since the enchanted stone would fetch a high price on the black market, he decided to strike a deal with his good friend Shu Yi and sell the 2 stones he had obtained in exchange for his support. He regarded Shu Yi as his best friend for the support and guidance he had given. In the meantime, the new principal, Li Yuxio, comes to visit him and inquires about the mysterious awakener who has appeared recently and wields swords similar to him. Master Li tells him that he is completely unaware of the issue. The money that Lu Shu received from Shu Yi permits him to purchase a mobile phone. Afterwards, he returned to his house and surprised Shoyu with a brand new mobile phone. He also let her know that they may soon be able to purchase the house they had been renting up until that point. After hearing this, Shoyu smiled happily and gave her brother a warm hug. The negative points that Lushu had accumulated till that point were used to boost his overall power level. Shortly after that, Lushu was notified that all of the students in the special class would be going on a mission to protect the area around the ruins, where the ruins will emerge and have an incredible amount of spiritual energy. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my current production of anime recaps, I will make a part 3. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.